and in today's video, I have 3 different Christmas DIYs for you guys. So if you're looking for a way to spruce up your home on a budget this holiday season, then this video is for you. Most of my materials can be found at the dollar store. So if that's something you're interested in, please keep on watching. Also, if you have not already, please think about hitting that subscribe button before you leave. So if you're thinking about recreating some of these DIYs, I will be putting all the materials needed in the description box below. All right, guys, let's get right into the video.
For this first DIY project, you're going to need some spackle. I picked mine up from Home Depot. However, they do sell it in select Dollar Tree locations. You're also going to need 2 foam cones. I picked mine up from Michael's. However, they are also sold at the Dollar Tree as well. Most of my DIYs were done in the evening into the night, so my son decided he wanted to help, so you will see him popping up a couple of times throughout this video. Once you apply the spackle to your cones, I went ahead and blended it out using nice upward strokes because I wanted to kind of cascade up or cascade down. Now you can create multiple different patterns with this. This is just what I chose. You will have to work with the spackle a little bit before beginning to spread. So once you pat it in and it kind of sits into the foam, then you'll be able to evenly spread and distribute it throughout. I strategically chose this particular spackle because it does change colors once it is dry. So I was working on a few different DIYs on this day, and so I definitely wanted to be able to tell when it was ready to move on to the next step. This is what your cones should look like once you have completely covered them with the spackle. Nice texture, beautiful. Second step to this DIY is to paint. Now you can leave them as is, however I wanted a nice pure white color, so I am creating a kind of faux stone using white paint and some baking soda. I wanted my cones to be heavily textured, so I went in with a lot of baking soda. So my end result was quite pasty, but it still was a little bit runny. Once you have received your desired texture, it is time to move on and begin painting your cones. Now, I do have 2 different paintbrush. This Kraft foam brush is basically going to cover the entirety of the cone, and then I have a smaller detailed brush that's going to get in all of those little nooks and crannies. I did purchase both of these brushes from the Dollar Tree as well as the baking soda. So once again, guys, you can complete this entire project with Dollar Tree items. After you have let that paint and baking soda mixture dry, this is what your final result will look like. I absolutely love the stark white faux stone texture. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you guys think of DIY number 1? For the next DIY, you're going to need 2 cones. I picked up both of these cones from the Dollar Tree. Ideally, I would have wanted something a little bit larger. However, I did want to purchase all of these products from the Dollar Tree. You're also going to need a bucket. I went ahead and pre-filled that bucket with some water. You're going to need a stirring tool and then a measuring cup. You don't necessarily have to use a measuring cup. You can use any type of cup, but this is what I decided to pick up. You're also going to need concrete. Now, I did not get this from the dollar store, but you can pick this up from your local home improvement store. I find that it is best to go ahead and have the water in your bucket and slowly add the cement. This is going to help you out a lot because it gets pretty difficult to stir large quantities of concrete in. So if you add it in slowly, it'll make the process much easier for you. I did not measure out the exact portion of water to concrete. However, I am going to show you guys the texture that you'll be looking for. I failed to mention that you are going to need a little bit of oil and paper towels. This is the consistency that your concrete mixture should look like. It's kind of like an oatmeal texture. So I'm going to go ahead and line both cones with oil. This is going to help the cones release very easily once they have dried. I struggled a little bit trying to figure out how I was going to pour my concrete into my cones, and I had to get a little creative, so I ended up wedging the cones in between the table and the windowsill ledge. So whatever works for you, girl, just get it done, okay? While pouring in the concrete mixture, I did keep in mind that I wanted these to be at staggering heights. So I filled one of the cones all the way up, and then I partially filled the other. This project does get really messy, so make sure you have paper towels or some type of wipes on hand. Another thing that I struggled with this project is trying to figure out how to keep the cones upright while they dried, so I ended up putting them into this pot and it worked perfectly. After about 36 hours, I decided to go ahead and release the concrete trees from the cones. Please put down some type of towel as you're releasing these because you do not want them to accidentally crack. This is how they turned out. I think they look very nice, sleek, and modern. I wish they were a little bit larger. However, they are extremely cute and they look great on my coffee table. For this final DIY, you are going to need some gold paint and some bells. I thrifted these bells for 95 cents. If you have not seen my previous Christmas thrift haul video, I will link it down below. You're also going to need a paintbrush and something to put your paint in. I picked up both the paintbrush and the little tray from the Dollar Tree. This folk art antique gold paint came from Walmart. This paint works best if you apply a thin layer first, allow it to dry, and then go in with your second layer. I completed 2 layers of this antique gold paint. After completing these bells, I am going to be adding them to this wreath that I picked up from the thrift store. It was about $1.25. I got this at the beginning of fall and I did not use it, so I thought it would be great for this project. All I am going to do is simply remove the yellow flowers that it came with and slowly add in this beautiful cedar that I sourced from outside. So if you guys have any old wreath forms, or if you go into Walmart, Joann's Fabric, Michael's, and pick up one of these wreath forms, you can always create your own wreath by going outside and picking from good old Mother Nature. I decided to go ahead and lay out all of the branches first before securing them with floral wire. However, if I could do this again, I would go ahead and secure with the wire as I went. It was a little bit difficult to add the wire afterwards, but I got it done. Now, there is no rhyme or reason for placing these stems down in certain places. I just went with it, filled in the areas that had gaps, and kept in mind the shape that I was going for. As I previously stated, I am going to be attaching those gold bells to this wreath form. So after I got the shape that I desired, I went ahead and started looking at how I wanted to lay out those bells. I picked up this rope from the Dollar Tree, and all I am going to do is cut the desired length of rope, and then I'm actually going to unwind. Now, if you've ever worked with this rope before, you know that it is about 3 strands intertwined together. So I went ahead and unraveled it and used one twine to tie or attach the bell to the wreath. Once I have attached the twine or rope to the bell, I'm going to begin kind of laying it out to see exactly how I wanted the bells to hang. This is the final look. I absolutely love it. It is everything that I thought it would be, and it goes beautifully with my Scandinavian decor. I did not have my command hook on hand, so I will be hanging up this beauty in future vlogs. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this week's video. I will be doing Vlogmas, so I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye, y'all.